Saturday meeting for us at Sha Tin this weekend, and it's the first of 4 consecutive meetings as well in the new territory. Our feature race this weekend is the Hong Kong Riding for the Disabled Association Cup as well. Very warm welcome to Racing to Win. I'm Andrew Lejeune, joined here in the studio by former analyst Paul Lally and race caller Brett Davis as well. Brett, and it has been Joe Aaron, Zach Purton, who have dominated in recent weeks.
They have, yes, and it might be a super Saturday for Zach Purton potentially. Of course, 999 winners now accumulated after a 4-timer at the Valley on Wednesday night. 5s, 4s and 3s for the racing class. Rail in the C position, all on the turf, and it's going to be hot. According to the Bureau, it's been hot the last few days.
Certainly has been. Yeah, only seven rides for the champion jockey, Zach Purton. What have you got jackpot-wise, Paul?
He deserves a little break, doesn't he? Yeah, just a 7. 1.5 million going into the TT jackpots. Are expecting that to get up to about 4 million for a single $10 winning unit. So that's the jackpot. There's a whole host of first starters, though. Some really interesting ones coming up later in the card. Beauty Spark and Penghai Galaxy as well. Looking forward to those two.
Joe Moreira's 6 away from 800 and Karis Teeton's 6 away from 300.
And Alberto Santos back as well.
Good to see him back. He's had an up-and-down season, to say the least, with injury, and let's hope he can kick a goal on his first day back.
All right, he kicks off in race number 2, I think it is. Anyway, we'll roll into Saturday's programme, starting off with the scratchings. Bingo's not going around in race number 5. He's replaced by Farm Bumper. Matthew Poon in the saddle there, so that's race 5, number 3. And race 6, Cheerful Star is out, not replaced. And race 9, number 2, Green Card is out as well. Disappointing last time, but a win at the start before. All right, so that's right up to date with the scratchings for this weekend, which is meeting number 79 of the season of the 88. We're on the C course. All 10 races are on the turf. We kick things off with the Class 4. This is over the 1,200 metres with Winning Supreme dropping back into Class 4. Place he's got a very good record. Bowley gets the blinkers on for the first time. First up since February, £10 off his back, courtesy of Alfred Chan. Gentle Breeze fresh up since April as well. Debutant here is Shanghai Rusky, a 3-year-old for Benno Young. We've got Victorian, was favoured on debut and beaten. The Shadow Roll comes off him. And Sweetie Barley, Casper Founds, Vincent Ho, in amongst the winners, Happy Valley midweek. 0 from 14 so far. Sweetie Barley close to a class drop. Winning Supreme, Break Record and Freeview, the horses that have been up at Chumfar in the last month.
Pace in the first. Well, the interesting runner is probably Bulb Elite. Of course, now in the stable of Dennis Yip, Blinker's first time, and he's been very forward in his recent trials, particularly his most recent one at Happy Valley, where he led all the way. And with the £10 claimer on, he could take up the running. Winning Supreme's a front-running type. Victorium's trial well coming into the race also. And then of the rest, they're probably mostly back markers. Speedy Missile might be potentially a little closer.
Here's Bulb Elite. I thought we'd show him because he's having his first start for the new stable. He's also dropped 50 pounds, so a slimmer version of Bulb Elite there. Alfred Chan will take them out. He'll take the 10 pounds off and first start for Dennis Yip. So he's come up favourite as well. All You Need, he goes nicely here in the morning. Nice piece of work from him. He's a 2-time winner from his 22 starts, and he goes nicely down the back straight as well. Just a nice quiet workout for him to get him ready for this race. And Victorium's only had the one start, went out favourite on that occasion. He's trialled well again since that. Aldo De Mea, new jockey aboard him, and he's going well. He's improved since his debut run.
All right, OK. We'll see if the punters follow in once more. Let's start off, though, with Bulb Elite, that gear change and the apprentice claim as well. Let's hear from the man himself, Alfred Chan.
Alfred Bulb Elite, he's a horse who hasn't raced for a little while. He's changed trainers. You've ridden him in his 2 trials. What sort of feel has he given you in those trials?
Dennis should probably change his normally sit in the back, but the last 2 trials, Danny told me to just go forward, and then obviously he was better. And then he got a good draw on Saturday, and not much pace in the race as well. So hopefully he can jump and lead and set a good tempo.
He's got the blinkers going on for the first time. Have they helped him in those trials to go forward as well?
Oh yeah, definitely, because I galloped him the other day. He just no blinkers, no EMS on, and then he looked around a little bit. So definitely the blinkers will help him a little bit.
In that gallop, how fit did he feel for his first run for a while?
He was good, and he gave me a good feeling, so I have a big confidence tomorrow.
All right, that's Bulb Elite, Alfred Chan. He's got a couple of good rides in the first couple of races, Alfred. He's one of them. Let's look at a couple of the others, though. Starting off with Winning Supreme. That's the class drop that sort of makes him interesting from barrier 4. He's a 4-time winner in this grade.
He is, but I don't like him in this race. I think he's a pace influence at best. He could be upsetting the apple cart potentially if Bulb Elite does want to lead. He's one that might press the issue under Umberto Rispoli, who, of course, sustained that injury on Wednesday night. So good to see him back riding so quickly after that little nasty incident. But I prefer him on the all-weather generally.
Yeah, he's won 3 on the all-weather and 1 at Happy Valley. So he has 1 on the turf. I got him in on a 4th line because I don't think this is a strong race by any stretch.
OK, that's winning Supreme then. This is break record. It's had 1 start. It was here at Sha Tin over the 1200 back in January. He was a big price behind Speedy Dragon.
He was, and then he bled on the 21st of January after a barrier trial. So he's had some issues, spent some time up at Chun Fa. This is the best I've seen from him so far. Chad Schofield aboard. As Paul said, it is a weak race, but I am shopping elsewhere.
Yeah, blinkers on. He's 75 to 1, and I think there's a reason why is that.
Yeah, it was a better trial, but he needs to lift, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's break record. What about Speedy Missile? Again, just 1 start to his name so far. 8th behind Glenealy Generals.
He was my horse to follow off the back of this 8th behind Glenealy Generals. He did a lot wrong, and I just thought raw in brackets for Speedy Missile. Karras has been aboard. In his first race start, he'll ride again. You can see him pushed on in the end, but I'm not too concerned about the vigour Karras was using there because it was a wet, sloppy track. I think from gate 3, if he steps well and can get onto that rail, he can run a bit of a race for me.
All right, and what about Victoria? I say he was well backed on debut, sent off favourite behind Flying Victory, but only 7th.
Yeah, that was on the back of some good trials. He got a little bit lost on his debut run. He's come in here now. Aldo De Meo is aboard. I really like this trial. I thought it was a really good trial from him, and he's definitely improved. His track work's been very good leading in. Not a strong race. I know he's drawn wide, but I think he can win this, so he's the one I'm going to side with.
All right. Yeah, he's come up with barrier 12 for Victoria, but we'll see if he can get some back for the people who followed him in first time. Bulb Elite is actually favourite, Paul, but you're taking him on.
Yeah, I am, because when he was in New Zealand, he was a 1,800 metre horse. He's running fresh up here over 1,200. He's got the blinkers on. He's going to come up really short, and with a Dennis Yep stable, he's 2.9 already. So I'll take him on with Victorian. Bulb Elite, I think will still run well, but in a weak race. But I just worry about the 1,200 for him. All you need in there for 3rd and winning Supreme, downgraded into Class 4, 10, 2, 3, 1.
Yeah, it's a tricky little race, the first, Class 4. I ended up siding with All You Need, based on that performance 2 back for Matthew Poom when he was 4th behind Warlord. They ran reasonable time, only beaten 3/4. He had quite a few checks in the home stretch and still was only 3/4 away from the winner. At his next start, he had further excuses. So I'm going to take him on top from Speedy Missile, who's drawn 3, can potentially get a little closer early. Bulb Elite, obviously the most interesting runner in the race. Got Gentle Breeze in 2. I'm not against Paul's Victorian. I was just worried about the gate. There are a couple of nice horses potentially on the way up. Speedy Missile, Victorian, but ended on the 3 for some reason, so happy to go with All You Need each way.
All right, yeah, I've got him in as well, 3 and 2 we all got. Just on Bulb Elite, they did win over 1,100 as a 2-year-old and 1,400 as well. That was on a heavy track, but he has shown some level of speed.
Yeah, he did. That was a long time ago now, though.
Yeah, a lot of his starts earlier on in his career in Hong Kong, he struggled for pace too, so be interesting to see how he runs.
The other thing is he's dropped 50 pounds, so that's really interesting. He's lost all that weight.
All right, that's race number 1.